Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Homeland Security. New police radar is being used to see inside our homes. On the eve of Operation Jade Helm, an unprecedented exercise claiming Texas, Utah, and Southern California hostile to the homeland. President Obama disarms police departments while justifying the rioting. Meanwhile, a leaked list shows the Ferguson protesters were paid by a George Soros front group. Nothing is spontaneous anymore, and it's all political. So, the George Soros front group, it's called MORE, Missourians for Organization Reform and all this other stuff. They're paying these people $2,000 to $5,000 a month to basically come in and set up these mock protests and basically cause chaos.
And looting and destruction.
Yeah. So it looks like it's just a spontaneous event spurred by a wrongful death incident that happens at the hands of police. But what we find out is nothing could be further from the truth. It's just like Occupy Wall Street, but it's just dressed up in a different name. And now we know that it's the phony hashtag Black Lives Matter. It's all a front.
It doesn't surprise me when I know the background of George Soros and his father ratted on all the rich Jews in Budapest when the Nazis, internal Nazis, had taken over, and he went along with his father. He was a kid, 14 years old, so I guess you can't blame him. But he was interviewed on that subject many years later on CBS, and said that was one of the most exciting things he ever went through. And you know what they did? They not only took all the money from those Jewish business people, they murdered them and threw their bodies into the Danube. They said the Danube was running red. There was so much blood by the fact that they killed the whole families. And George Soros has the audacity to get on television, be interviewed, and say it was an exciting part of his life.
And he's Jewish.
Let's say he's, yes.
Unbelievable.
What does it make him? Holy?
So what they're doing now is you can find in any police department in the country an incident where someone gets shot over something. I mean, every day in this country. 38 people in Chicago got shot over the weekend. Oakland, there was another 30 people that got shot. So you could always find something. So now they're organizing these people, basically giving them a map and saying, this is where we're going next, this is where we're going next, this is where we're going next. And the media has the complicity to go along with all this. It makes me sick. It really does.
Well, you see, this is the early stages of a major change in a country's direction. I'm not saying it's going to happen here, but this is what happened. I know sometimes I do it to a point of boredom, talking about my childhood from the time I was in kindergarten, how the Nazis took over. You know, the Weimar Republic had a constitution that was as good and better than our own constitution. It was very, very freedom-loving and liberal and everything. And nobody stopped these people. They just let them get away with, literally with murder on the streets, and there was no stopping it.
But a lot of that had to do with guilt from World War I, did it not?
That has been used as an excuse. No, they were the fact that they had some unemployment problems, so on. But I'm not making that an equation. I'm only saying is that when the good people in a country aren't in charge and aren't taking up the pitchforks to try to keep our country in good shape, then these people will take full advantage. You know, the Civil War could have easily split this country into two units if it hadn't been such a tremendous leadership on the part of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln saved this country from 1860, 1865. And it could have very easily have been two separate entities, and America, the greatness that came out of America in that 100-year period would never have manifested itself.
Now we're looking at the president basically taking over police departments, and here's how they're doing it. It's covert. They say these are the federal guidelines that we've come up with. This is what you need to follow, and basically if you don't, you're not getting federal money, and you're not going to get any of the funds that come along with that. And now that's on the eve of what's called Operation Jade Helm, which happens next month, where they're going to prepare us for civil unrest and martial law with militarization of the streets.
You know what's interesting, what you just said, and the way excellent way you've covered this. Al Sharpton, the great radio TV announcer, a man with tremendous credentials, said he wants legislation to nationalize our police force. Well, it has been done before. It's called the Gestapo.
And the president in 2008, when he was campaigning, that's a video, you can Google it and look it up, it's not hidden. We need a civilian force just as strong, just as big, just as well funded as the U.S. military to achieve our national objectives. That tells you right there what they're trying to do. So now you've got this operation where basically the military is going to be coming down, rolling down the streets of America, and they're looking at Texas and Utah as being hostile to the homeland. Representative Louis Gohmert said that this is unprecedented and he's never seen anything like this. And Governor Perry has taken the step of having his own Texas National Guard oversee this operation. This is scary stuff. And having been through it yourself, what do you make of this?
Well,
most Americans have no idea this is going on.
They have no experience. They're inured. They're not inured to this having happened before to them. We've always felt that somehow we come out of these things okay.
It can't happen here.
It can't happen here. You look at our history, we've had some scrapes that came close to creating problems, all the way going back to the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the start of the United States, and somehow we've always gotten out of these things. Some great man always came along and got us out of this mess, and we got to the point where we said, well, maybe we're not like any other country. This won't happen here.
It's happening. You better pay attention, people. We need to take a short pause. Our political insider and moment in history are on deck. Again, if you miss any segments, just go to our website, theworldreport.org. It is still free. I don't know how long that's going to last with this net neutrality crap, but you can view the entire show or just a segment, and make sure to like us and recommend us. You can follow Maury at Beschloss on Twitter.